What's good, my boy? Today is the 5 golden tips universally throughout any medium in art that will guarantee that you can produce something you're proud of, guarantee that, I'll even say, guarantee you success in that medium, and happiness. Not happiness in the sense of like you don't want happiness, but happiness in the sense of like fulfillment and contentment. Okay? The first rule is fuck resistance. Fight resistance. Either way you want to phrase it. Resistance is best described by an author named Steven Pressfield, who wrote The War of Art, Turning Pro, and then a bunch of other like historical nonfiction novels. And basically, the way he describes this thing of resistance is any force that makes you feel like you don't want to go sit down and do what you intend to do artistically, be it you if you want to call it procrastination, but anything, even if it's like outside sources of shit going wrong or anything like that, but mainly it's like this feeling in you where you're like waiting to be inspired or waiting for the right moment at the right time for something which never comes. It is to fight this thought in your head and this like limiting force of resistance that holds you back from just, say for instance, if we have music and we're wanting to go and sit down behind Ableton or something like that. The force that tells you, no, I don't really feel like it. I don't think that I have anything creatively to say right now. The force, that voice in your head that tells you that or kind of inclines you not to do that, when realistically you know that it would be beneficial for you to just go sit and see what happens and practice even. That is what resistance is. And it's in every single medium of art. It can be in comedy with like stage fright and you being like, oh no, I'm not good enough for this and blah, 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 all these different excuses. Music, telling yourself, oh, I'm not inspired today. And it's like a rational thought. It rationalizes reasons not to do it very well, but you have to fight against that. With writing, not going and sitting down and just writing. With painting, being like, oh no, I don't have anything in my mind to paint right now. No, fight against resistance and do it anyway. Go and just see what happens. If you're a painter and you paint extremely realistic portraits with like incredibly fine detail, just go sit behind a canvas and just like act like a 5-year-old and just like draw stick figures and just see what comes of it. If you're a musician, just go and like you want to create something complex, say, and you know all these different chords, you know all of this. Just kind of like start off recreating something you already know of or have heard, and maybe you'll come up with a crazy interpretation. Fighting resistance is all about just doing it anyway, no matter what your brain says. Just going and sitting down to see what fucking happens, because that is when the great shit happens. That is when your eureka moments happen, and that is the best way to consistently get shit done with art. Second, remember and live in the mindset of abundance. Do not have a single piece of art that you view as like your masterpiece. Think of all the great masters whenever it comes to oil painting, or all the greatest musicians. They created hundreds of pieces of art, 100 works. They might have had like 8 or 9 albums, but there's like hundreds of songs and sessions and thousands of recording sessions they went through. They never sat down. You don't want to sit down and spend months and months meticulously editing and perfecting one specific thing, because the way your brain works is your brain will see things and hear things in whatever medium of art you're in, and it will critique things that are not really there or would not be seen by other people, because the voice in your head knows all of your faults. It knows everything, everything, and it knows every single stroke in your painting, every single note and subtle thing in your song, whatever. Any punctuation errors in your writing, any cadences or weird deliveries in your comedy. It knows these things and knows exactly what buttons to press. It's like you're fighting against yourself. But whenever you shut off that and you live in the mindset of abundance, and abundance when it comes to art is imagining that there's a constant river flowing through you with ideas. And as soon as you hold it up by spending too much time on one piece and trying to perfect something too much to its own detriment, most likely, you are shutting off that flow and restricting your true creative output. That's just how this shit works for me. For the longest time, I've gone off of inspiration. And I would have very sporadic periods of creation until a couple weeks ago I started putting this abundance into practice, and I'll make 4 or 5 paintings a day, all totally different, totally unique, but seem like I can tell that I made them just with my style. Well, my music, I'll normally just make like little seeds, which are just like little ideas, riffs, yada yada, and I'll come back and experiment on them. But now I'm kind of just like going through the whole thing and just creating the whole song and finishing it in one take, like the Beatles or something, just because I know that I will always keep creating more shit, so there's no reason to get tied up on things. If I like something that much, I can create it and then come back to it and just like have fun and experience it and see where I was at. It's just like documenting little moments in time. The third one, which ties into that, is self-belief. We all have these limiting thoughts in our head, and sometimes they can seem like they work to our benefit. Like self-doubt and the thing of being really critical about yourself can produce some amazing things. It can produce some amazing things, and this is going to contradict the abundance a little bit. It can produce amazing things, but then it can also do something totally bad, totally the opposite, which is shut you down. It can shut your factory down. It's like, imagine self-doubt and self-belief as like you're running a factory that's producing more of your item than any other factory in the world. And the reason why you're producing so much is because of how critical you are of like, this person's lazy, this person's this, so I'm going to be the best one in it. But then it can have the complete adverse effect of being so self-critical that it's never good enough and you shut down. It's like you're completely shut down your factory because you can't produce something to your standards, and it's just done. And that's how a lot of artists are. You'll see these sporadic periods where they'll create, they'll not create. They'll create, and they'll not create. And it's kind of like, for like a little moment in time, they won the battle against self-doubt, and it allowed them to create art. And you have some beautiful shit from that. But I much prefer my approach, which is a more consistent thing. It is just ignoring that voice. Ignoring it. Fuck it, dog. I treat this voice of self-doubt in my head like a critic. Like an art critic. And it's hard to do because, like I said with the abundance, the voice inside your head knows all of your weaknesses. It's like you fighting an opponent that can beat the shit out of you. It would seem stupid to try, but you can beat him by knowing that you're already at a disadvantage, so who cares? That's how you gotta view it. Who the fuck cares? You're at a disadvantage. There's no way to like physically beat it. There's no way to do this. It will always be there. So who fucking cares? Just fight through it and make it happen. That's how the fucking self-doubt works. And then you move into self-belief, which tethers onto faith. Faith in yourself. Faith deep down that no matter what, you're making what you like and you believe in it and it will work out. And as long as you can keep that in there, then you'll be golden. And this will tie into our fourth rule, which is the audience comes last. The biggest fighting force against self-belief is external forces and external voices. Meaning people being like, oh, this is kind of ass, or you upload something and it divides half the people, or you put something out into the world and 3 people like it out of like 1,000 people that see it. And you're like, what the fuck? Poof. Eliminate that. Audience comes last. Fuck the audience, honestly. Fuck the audience. I know if you're a true creative person, an artist, if you will, we've all had times where we've made something and felt extremely proud once we've made it. We love it, if you will. It's exactly what we wanted. And then, say you put it out or you show it to somebody, and the reception is not the same as you envisioned in your head, and then your view of what you just made that was positive diminishes. Because now you're having this out. Fuck that, bro. Only you. Any of the greatest commentators on art, I call them commentators on art, but the people who speak about art mainly, like a Rick Rubin or a Steven Pressfield again. I mean, there's a bunch of different names I could list off, but I'm not going to not hold up your time. But let's just use Rick Rubin as an example. He's created some of the highest regarded music in society from an audience standpoint. But even with that, even with all the praise, he still gets negative. But with all the praise, he will preach till the fucking cows come home that the audience comes last. It's the only true way to be comfortable in what you're making and make something pure and expressive. I think about one aspect, because mainly I'm really into painting right now, but my music, there's been times where I'm like sad, and I'll pick up an acoustic guitar and cover Where Is My Mind, or like a sad song like that. And if I stop thinking about everything external and pour all of my emotion into that, where it's like after you sing the word with complete devotion, you feel like almost like shaky because of like how raw it was. Same with whenever you witness a performance by somebody. If you witness a truly great performance of someone like letting out their complete feelings, a good example would be the Nirvana Unplugged, whenever he sings that song, In the Pine, where it's like, in the pines where the sun don't ever shine. Like that song, at the very end, he belts out this fucking vocal, and he closes his eyes and sings it, and then he opens it, and he takes a breath while his eyes are closed and belts it out, and he opens his eyes, and it's like he doesn't even know where the fuck he's at. He's that deep. That is what we're after, bro. That is what we're after with everything. That it's beyond a flow state. It's beyond tuning in to the universe, blah, blah, blah. It's beyond all of that. It's unexplainable is what it is. And that's what you're after, is those moments where it's pure. It's truly, truly raw. And I'm talking a lot about music, but it goes with every single thing. When it comes to fucking comedy, one of the greatest comedic things in existence is Andrew Dice Clay's tape that Rick Rubin made, where he's bombing, bro. The whole thing. This motherfucker's about to play Madison Square Garden, and he makes a tape where he completely bombs. Everybody in the audience boos him, and it's the greatest fucking piece of comedy I've ever heard. It's hilarious, bro. But as the art form that we traditionally know of going up on stage and making people laugh, it doesn't work like that. It's a completely new, different thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like you're hitting these moments that on the surface, in theory, are not at all what we would consider good. But the only way they are good is if you tune out the fucking audience, the outside interference and noise of what is acceptable, and truly experiment. another example is like modern art, bro. So many people shit on modern art, and I kind of shit on it too. Like the whole fucking banana on the wall thing to me is stupid. I don't truly see that as art. I just see that as taping a fucking banana on a wall. However, a Jackson Pollock painting or a Basquiat painting, Basquiat, I don't know how the fuck to say his name. The John Michel Basquiat, his paintings, couple others. You know what I'm talking about. That modern art shit that's very abstract and very up to interpretation. I recently saw a video from Matt Walsh where he's just like shitting on modern art, and a bunch of other fucking people shit on it too. And I'm not going to go to a modern art museum and most likely be like, oh my god, a Rothko with 3 colors, dude, that expresses like my schizophrenia, dude, like that's how my brain works right there. No, I don't view it like that. But every once in a while, especially with some of the Basquiat paintings, I look at them and it does do something to me emotionally. And I've seen these Matt Walsh people, or just people in general who hate modern art, all modern art, and I kind of dismiss them all, because it's, at the end of the day, these people who made it turned the audience off, and it was true expression with how they were feeling. It's fun as fuck to sit there. I paint portraits. I paint a variety of things, and it is fun as fuck to sit there with like watercolor and a Sharpie and just do some shit a 3-year-old would do. It's fun. It's expressive. It feels good. It's fun to do that. And then if you add the element of like a message you're trying to say, or something that's actually profound, it surpasses all of that. So I could ramble on and on about how I like modern art, as well as the masters like fucking Caravaggio and whatever the fuck his name is. What the fuck is his name? Anyway, I'm not going to try to sit here and run through my brain of painter names. But the great masters, as well as modern art, it's all great. It's all up to interpretation. Every single thing. One person might like fucking trap-killing rap music and hate folk music, and then the complete opposite to the next person. They might think that trap and fucking Young Thug is absolute dog shit, meaningless music, not even music, and they love classic rock, but then like somebody else might love the trap and hate the classic rock. It's all interpretation. The audience should never get in the way, because it's all about you and your fucking interests and what you like on your palette. So this brings us to the 5th and final, I'm going to make this, for me, a rule. And that is become a finisher, not an experimenter. Experimentation is part of the artistic process. It is needed, but it should not be your defining trait, because once you become an experimenter, you lose that abundance, you lose that flow, and you get hung up by never finishing things. I think of artists like Prince. Prince was said to spend 20 plus hours in the studio, song after song after song, hyper creative, just coming to him over and over and over. I feel similar in the same sense. I'm not fucking musically inclined like Prince, but whenever I do paintings, I'll have 3 paintings going at once and complete all 3 of them in a day, and not just like slapping paint on a canvas, but like portraits. I'll do like the other day, yesterday and today and Friday, I'm painting a dog. I'm painting a portrait of a girl that's inspired from David Bowie, and I'm painting like an abstract like watercolor thing all at once, back and forth, and coming in the studio making music. I have ADHD, maybe autism, I don't know, but it just makes me go like that all the time. And for me to get shit done, I have to implement being a finisher, which means follow the rule of abundance, don't believe everything is your masterpiece, and work the thing till completion through the crafting phase, through the monotony, through the resistance, and you have a body of work. That is what it all comes down to. All of this, like Rick Rubin has said in the past, making this art is an offering to God. Making this art is making us immortal. That is what I believe, as well as the Rick Rubin with the God thing. I believe that art is the only human thing that we can do to truly immortalize us. Think about Michelangelo. That motherfucker died like 500 years ago, and he has been immortalized because of the statue of David and the many other statues. Same with Da Vinci, same with Caravaggio, same with all of these famous fucking people. They are immortalized by their creation and remembered through history, remembered in life. The pride, the success, the acknowledgement, the fame you're looking for as an artist should not be the thing you seek. You should have the self-belief that will come from your body of work after you're dead, hundreds of years after you're dead, because you put so much time in fighting the resistance, completing the shit, and finishing your fucking work and completing an amazing body of work. Become a finisher, bro. Finish your shit. Get shit done. Couple sources that help me. I can't smoke weed anymore, and I can't drink alcohol, and I can't watch pornography. Shit completely kills my creativity. So I cut all of those out of my life completely. I introduced a couple new things. Introduced me some mega doses of caffeine and some mega doses of nicotine. Makes me wired like I'm on meth, amphetamine. Ooh, bars. I'm making art in the fucking video. Get inspired, motherfucker. You heard that shit, boy. That was as good as being a Young Thug song. Anyway. I could go on and on. You hear the passion in my voice, so I'm going to go make something. I hope you do too. Chase paper, enjoy nature, old son. Have a great day.